All right, what's up? What's going on? Welcome to a new episode of Une Sports. This is episode 77. We're joined by your host, Richy and Mike. Mike, what's going on, man?
What's up, baby? It's been a rough week, Richie. Rough week, man. My goat, my goat ain't my goat anymore.
And you're referring to who? Oh, okay. Yeah, it's indeed. It's been a rough
Yeah,
week for Mike.
yeah. Hip hop
I
died.
completely forgot about that.
Yeah, we tried to erase it from our memories, but hip hop died
Yes.
this week completely. It doesn't exist anymore,
Oh man, how do you think like Kendrick took it? Bro, it's just a battle, or like, all right,
bro.
let's call it truce.
That man walked outside. If it was raining outside, the clouds spread out and the sun was shining on him. That's how he probably felt like God, man. It was like, yeah, that's right. That's
That's
right.
right, bro. You
I'm
don't
the man. I'm Debo.
Devo.
I'm Debo. You better move when I come through. Like it's like nasty work from J. Cole, man. So sad.
And according to a couple outlets, they said that we might have a diss track tomorrow from Drake.
We'll see. We
And I
shall
think
see.
there's also, I'm not sure if it's an album or just a song, but it's like apparently another album from Future and Metro Booming. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's supposed to be coming out tomorrow too.
I don't know
Actually,
if there's
yeah.
gonna be another featuring kid out with another diss, but is it actually needed? But well, if Drake does respond, you think Kendrick is gonna say anything?
Of course,
Okay.
100%.
And J. Cole just gonna be like,
Nah, sit out, man. You done.
"You done, done." There's
You're
no, there's
done,
no,
bro.
there's no way he can come back.
Nah, man.
All right,
I'm
done.
good, bro.
You're good.
Sit your ass somewhere.
Damn, he let Mike down this time, not Nas. All right, so on today's docket, we will be discussing the Champions League. It was the quarterfinals. It was energetic. Um, how many goals? Like so many goals. Like
Yeah,
the first day on Tuesday, there were
at 10
like,
goals,
yeah, 10. And the second day, 5 on Barcelona side, and
8 goals. Yeah,
yep, it was. So for the fans who like seeing like score, like a huge score, that was like probably like an amazing week for them. And so there was so many, there was like let me go over the games before we get started. So we had in the Champions League, we had on Tuesday, we had Arsenal versus Bayern 2-2. Harry Kane and Gnabry, they scored for Bayern, and for Arsenal was Saka and Trossard. And the same day, Real Madrid was playing at home against Manchester City. Clash of the Titans, 3-3, Mike.
hmm
And on Real Madrid side, it was Ruben Diaz with an own goal, and Rodrigo and Valverde. And on the other side, Manchester City, Bernardo Silva, who found a net early on, and Phil Foden and got Guardiola. So, yep, that was for on Tuesday. On Wednesday, we have PSG versus FC Barcelona. It was at the Parc des Princes. They lost against Barcelona 3-2. On the scoring sheet, we had Dembele and Vitinha for PSG, and for Barcelona, Rafinha and Christensen. Rafinha scored twice. And Atletico Madrid won against Dortmund 2-1. On the scoring sheet, we had Rodrigo de Paul with an early, I would say, like, we probably would talk about that, like a mistake, I believe,
yeah,
from the defender and the goalie.
yeah.
And well, not we'll discuss on that. Like Lino scored also for Atletico Madrid, and on Dortmund, you were asking why he doesn't start. Haller scored. So that was the quarterfinals. Do
hmm
you do you wish to hear for the Europa League?
Yeah, sure. Let's give it to the listeners. Let's
All
give the
right,
results for today.
I was ready. Liverpool, Atalanta, the Hensfield, they lost 3-0. Benfica won against Marseille 2-1. AC Milan lost against AS Roma 1-0. And Bayern Leverkusen won against West Ham 2-0. This was the quarterfinal leg one for the Europa League.
Heavy
And
defeat for Liverpool, man.
yeah, man, and you were just talking about that pre-production, like the cups are just falling like chest, Mike.
Epic bag fumblers, man. Epic bag fumblers. Wow, it's gonna be an exciting finish to the year for Liverpool. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, we'll see.
At least they're in some competitions. I can't even really talk.
Well, at least we didn't lose over in the weekend. So, did you?
Nah, we drew.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I was thinking. I'm like,
Mhm.
wait. Let me take that back. But yeah, so what game you want to start with, Mike?
I mean, let's start with the big one, man. Let's start with the big dogs.
The big dogs. All right, Clash
Yeah.
of the Titans. Real Madrid versus Manchester City. Uh, three straight times they meet in the Champions League, right?
I think that
First
is
year was
correct.
the first year was the semifinal. The following year, again semifinal. This year a little bit earlier,
Yeah,
quarterfinals. I feel like this would have been. I feel like this team would have been an amazing finals
for
because I
sure.
feel like it like in two legs, it's it's an advantage for Manchester City, but in a final, oof, it would have been an incredible final. But
Yeah, and they're, and
I'm
they're
not sure if we'll ever see it. But
and they're also the defending champs as well.
yeah,
So it would have been really good
who's hungrier
to see.
in this slug?
I mean, it's
The
tough to.
defending champ or the one that okay, you won last year, but
I would think it's Real Madrid, honestly, because obviously, Benzema left in the summer. Bellingham is coming in and he has a lot to prove. He's probably maybe top two, top three on the ballot for being Ballon d'Or next year in the way that he's playing. So I would say that they're hungrier. Like I think these guys really have a point to prove. Rodrigo with all the Mbappe news, Vinicius, picking up the number seven, trying to actually really, really prove that like, no, I can
that
actually
I belong
be,
here.
yeah, I can actually be the guy. Like, I'm one of the best players in the world. So I honestly think that Madrid is the hungrier team, honestly, because like these guys are coming up from a three-peat and well, not that, well, not a three-peat, but, three major trophies that they won last year, like, domestic FA Cup and then obviously the Champions League. And then so I think they're probably letting their foot off the gas a little bit. And, just to Rodri's point that he always tries to bring up as well, it's like, playing sixty games in a season is really, really demanding and rough. And these guys have played a lot of football over the last 12, 14, 16 months. So I don't think that the hunger and the desire is really as dominant on their end versus Real Madrid, who actually lost to them in the semis last year. So I
And
think I
and
would say,
yet they tied.
yeah, they tied. They tied, but I mean, let's be
So
honest, man. It was we don't know what happened in that first goal. We don't know what Lunin was thinking, and he got caught out by Bernardo Silva. I mean, we're getting into the game now. Um, and I mean Rodrigo and Camavinga did well to actually get us back in the game
yeah,
early on. But then the
yeah.
other two goals were world-class goals. They were Puskas level type goals.
You
Like
talking about like Valverde and Foden or?
no, even Yosko's goal. Like,
Oh yeah,
off
yeah, yeah,
off
yeah,
his
yeah.
weaker foot.
Yeah. He could
Uh
think that he could think the miscontrol that I mean that he had because I don't think he was planning on taking the shot.
Yeah, so those
Um,
two goals are great, 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 great goals. So,
yeah.
you can't really be too mad at it at the end of the day because they just you
No,
get
they were just good. Like
yeah.
Foden's goal, like it was like when he took the shot, I'm like, yeah,
The only thing that
that
you could be
that's
mad
it.
at is that like the scouting report. Why are you gonna let him get on his dominant foot
Well,
in that position?
I think it's the change.
Mm.
Obviously, I feel like guys like Chouameni, I think yeah, I think guys like Chouameni should have like advanced a little bit higher when you see like he's cutting in and then there's no one around him, he's gonna take a shot. He has that. You can't just drop on those moments,
Yeah,
like trying to get like a deflection or something. And in your point as well, like he was very quiet but all throughout the game. Like
yeah. I think that they did a really good
they
job.
made an adjustment where they switched him with Bernardo Silva. He went a little bit out wide in the second half, kinda. But I think one of the things also, Mike, when I was just actually looking at the video again of that goal from Foden, I think like Stones kind of bothered Cruz in that moment. Like Cruz was doing a good job defensively.
Hmm.
They kind of missed Foden a little bit in that. It's the same kind of a goal. Like, well, it's not Camavinga's goal anymore. Apparently, like it's Ruben Diaz' own his
Yeah.
own goal. But if you look at Camavinga's goal, why was Grealish? There was already someone on Carvajal. Was Grealish was? Why would you like double team Carvajal? You know, I know. I mean, in where Carvajal was, they were not gonna be. He was not able to sprint and get a cross at that moment because there was not really too much space. There was no reason to do so. That allowed Camavinga to do what he had to do.
Hmm.
Like went up in the space. But just to get back to your point, like with the hunger thing, the reason why I'm saying that is like the reason why I was like, as a fan of Real Madrid, I was very disappointed because you're hungry. You lost 4-1 against yesterday, and you can't win at home. Bro, that's two straight. That's 2 straight years. That cannot happen to whatever quote unquote top European dogs. That
Yeah.
cannot happen. That's your home. Bro, win a game. Win it. Like, cause like, okay, you're gonna like you haven't won an Etihad in a
Yeah.
minute.
Yeah.
You who can like we don't know what's gonna happen for real. Like it could be a different game. It could be like one of those game again, like 3-3, and then you go to the extra time, or you get crushed again. Or you crush them, and then you do like a reverse psychology. I'm like, oh, I did not see that coming. So, but one thing for sure, I'm very disappointed that Real Madrid cannot keep up with City in 90 minutes, even when they're not Manchester City.
Yeah.
Like the
Okay.
press was good at some point, but eh,
I mean, yeah, I could understand your
if you're
disappointment, and I
not
mean,
going back with a win, who cares about that press you did? Like I don't care about it. Like if you can't win 3-1, then I like the adjustment with Vinny and Rodrigo. It worked, but if you can't win, does it really matter?
yeah, that game plan was really it was really something. Vinicius is really showing his evolution as a football player. Like we saw the pass that he gave to Rodrigo, for
Yeah.
the second goal, like amazing. But he was a little bit quiet in the second half as well. But I think all the adjustments that Ancelotti made is good. But and I understand your disappointment
No, I mean
because obviously,
Guardiola made an adjustment too. Like that high line was not really like.
yeah,
And they made sure they made sure like they annoyed the wingers. They were quiet at
yeah,
some like in the second half. They made adjustments. That's when you have to make your own adjustments again. And if you can't make a second adjustment, you're not gonna win. That's what I'm saying. Like Manchester City, at the Etihad, yeah, Ancelotti is gonna come up with another plan. But can you come up with another plan? Because like they're gonna come back at you because you cannot maintain. You're not Liverpool. You cannot maintain a 90-minute press.
what's the adjustment to the adjustment?
Exactly. If you can't make no adjustment to the no, to the adjustment, bro, pack. Don't even take the flight.
Yeah, I
That's
mean
how
it's
I
good.
feel. The reason why I feel like that because it's like we're not talking about a Dortmund or anything. Like we're talking about Real Madrid. You can't win home 2 straight years. That's And the other factor, Mike, Manchester City is not fresh.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I wanted to bring up.
Bro, if you have to go to the dark market and buy three longs, do it, bro. Like, cause like this is incredible, Mike.
Yeah, because what they were coming off of what 9 days off or something like that,
Yeah, they just played on
you know.
Saturday and the week, bro.
And Madrid is fresh. But yeah, and it's going to be a tricky return tie because obviously, um, after 40 seconds, uh, Oyeno Chouameni is booked for a yellow card, and
Positioning.
and
It's
then
not
he's
his position.
it's not his position, but you understand like 40 seconds is crazy, man.
It's crazy.
Like 40 seconds, like no, like you go into the game knowing like, hey,
I have a
you
yellow
get
card.
you get booked, you miss the next game. And 40 seconds into the game,
I think it's
you're
the
gone.
position pressured him. He's like, yo, if
Mhm.
I don't make that tackle, it's a 1-on-1. It probably not. It probably wasn't. It's just it's not his position. And he's a guy that likes to tackle like that.
Yeah, he likes to make challenges, but I think like there's one of those things that like I don't know which defender said it, but you have to understand the timing and the moment. Like
Exactly.
you have to understand like when to make certain challenges. Like for example, we know that infamous thing that Luis Suarez did, for example, like when he took the red card for the team, like to
Oh
prevent
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah,
goal
yeah.
to prevent the goal from going in. Like, in that position at that moment, at that time in the game, it
Oh
was
the
probably
gun.
the smart thing to do. You see some defenders where a ball goes through, they were playing a high line, and I think Valverde did that in the past. Sergio Ramos did that in the past, where they take the red card for the team. They're like, yo, they understand it's like, yo, at this
Sergio
time, at this
Ramos just takes
moment,
red cards
yeah,
for no reason, Mike.
at that
Like
moment, it's fine. I think at that moment in the game, you go down 1-0. The game just started, man. Let's say like you go down 1-0, you do not take that card, bro. Like you understand there's plenty of time left in the game. Trust your team could actually make a comeback and get back into the game. So, like, that was really, really disappointing. And
yeah.
again, like for me personally, like I'm always stressed when when Camavinga starts at the top of the diamond. But thankfully, like, Carlo Ancelotti like really had a good game plan, and it was Cruz really actually controlling that part of the
Yep.
midfield like a little bit more. But again, like if it's a different team, if it's like a team that has those guys that actually likes to attack the box a little bit more, I think that gives Real Madrid a lot of problems. Like if it's like a team like Liverpool, for example, like when you got like those McAllisters and Soboloi that actually likes to attack the box, I think that game plan gives that starting midfield of Camavinga and Cruz like gives more problems to a team like that. But that's not who the opponent is. The opponent is Manchester City. It's Kevin De Bruyne. It's Bernardo Silva. It's Phil Foden. It's those guys that actually like to make pass and move, like really methodical playing, um, and trying to find
Throw stones in the midfield from time to time.
exactly and
Try to attack the half space.
trying to find those gaps. So then like it's you can manage the game a little bit more and play with them. So uh,
They had sequences where they managed the game very well. Like you said, with Kuz orchestrating and everything, with from time to time looking for the space. I don't know if there's gonna be that much space with Walker coming
yeah,
back.
coming back,
I
yeah.
don't know if you're gonna have eh, those transition easy as it was and not able to capitalize.
Yeah, and Real Madrid was
I don't know
wasteful
if
in
you're
that
gonna
game.
get that. So that's what I'm saying. Like if like when you're there, you have to take the advantage of it. So we don't know like what the game plan is gonna be. They're feeling good about themselves with the three. They're like, huh? They let us walk with 3-3. That's crazy. He's
Yeah,
like, we'll take it.
going back to the Etihad,
Yeah.
probably get some players back on Wednesday. It's gonna be
Yeah, I think
in
Walker's coming back and I don't know about Akanji. I'm not Akanji, Ake, but
yeah,
yeah, Walker's they said that he should be back.
and
I don't know how healthy he is.
De Bruyne
Bruin,
didn't even play really,
yeah, yeah,
like
yeah,
so.
gas.
So yeah, man, it's gonna be a tricky
Mhm.
one. Real Madrid
Yeah.
really has to look at themselves in the mirror and figure out like, hey, like this isn't even a team that was at at 80% strength, and
Yeah, bro. Like
we didn't manage to get the job done.
they also have to find a way to get Bellingham going. He hasn't been good in about 3 weeks, and yes, unfortunately, he was not good at all against Manchester City. But he was just running so much. Like I don't know if he was gassed or anything. Like he was not involved at all. So they have to find a way to get him going.
You have an idea of what they could possibly do to actually make that happen? Because I
They
don't really
have to.
see it.
Um, he needs to be he needs to be more involved. So that means like when there's like because like the way like the position in it there was a lot of position there was a lot of space because Kus was very low. Kamavinga was also low. Sometimes Valverde would attack the space, but he needs to find where the empty spaces are and then drop there and then become a pure number 10 in those games. Because even if like he participated a lot with the attacks, but he didn't really get the ball most of the time in the final third because it was usually one-on-ones and Vinny and Rodrigo, oh, they're gonna take that one-on-one and they're gonna take the shot. But he needs to find him. He needs to be more aggressive also. But I don't know. Like if Manchester City is gonna make them run like that, that's gonna be difficult again. That's simple because he got tired also.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah. So prediction, Mike, next week.
I don't
So
know,
you
man.
don't want
It's
to take a
tough,
prediction?
man.
Yeah,
It's just tough, dude. Like,
I could have you
cause
skip it because it's your team.
no, I mean, you know, want the best for Real Madrid, but it's looking bleak, man. I'm not gonna lie, but hopefully this team has a swagger to it on some
Yeah,
days, and other days they
they're
just
like, meh.
yeah, like when they play against these lesser teams that they don't want to show up for, and your
They're
boy,
gonna show up, but
yeah.
that's the thing. You could show up, but if you're gonna show up for like just moments, I don't think you're gonna win like that. Like you need to show up for the whole game. And that doesn't mean pressing for the whole game. It means able to adjust very quick. If you're not gonna be able to do that, there's no chance. For me, I think this I'll give two scores. 1-0 Real Madrid or 2-0 Manchester City.
One thing's for sure, two things for certain. There's gonna be goals in that game.
Oh, there's gonna be
Like,
goals.
yeah, there's gonna be goals. Um, I'm
I
gonna
might even
go.
score.
I'm gonna go with 2-1 City.
Okay, fair enough. All right.
Hope
What
I'm wrong.
I know, yeah, I was gonna say like he's probably hoping he's wrong. All right, let's move on to the next game.
Yeah.
Let's do the other game that was that same night. Arsenal versus Bayern Munich.
Hmm.
Um, whew, Mike, what a time to be alive. Bayern Munich was a transition team
It's crazy.
against Arsenal.
That's crazy.
Like they were the counter team
Yeah,
against
it was.
Arsenal.
I
But yeah, to
mean,
be honest, has been working towards coming back. Arteta has been asking for time for the team.
yeah.
Like 2, 3, 4 years ago, when people were like forced, I'd be like, yo, give him time. Like they need to be hurt so they can learn. So here we go. Arsenal was good. I think they were good. I I feel like Arsenal messed up a great night when
Yeah.
they had that little blumper of with Raya and um Gabriel.
Yep.
So I think that kind of ruined a seek. I feel like they were gonna get they had they have just scored, but finding the net and playing well is gonna give you a different level of confidence with swagger. And I feel like that little moment broke it.
That's a fair assessment. I would say yes and no at the same time. I think they really managed to really get back into the game
Oh
in
yeah, they
terms
did.
of like, dominating possession. The one thing I would say is that like yes, Saka scored a very good goal. But other than that, man, I don't really think he provided much to the team.
Nah,
Um,
Davis kind of locked them at some point.
yeah.
Like Davis was very good against them. Like
And shout outs to Nabri as well before he went down with another hamstring injury. Like they were really covering that side.
yeah,
So I mean, knowing that, it's like you could find more space and openings in the midfield, but like if they're doubling up so much on that side on Saka, Um, there wasn't much that he could do, but like, I was a little bit disappointed in his output. But yeah, man, you were right. Six, I think it was like overall, like maybe like 60% possession, maybe 55 at the end of the
Yeah, it
game.
was over Arsenal. But
Yeah,
I like Arsenal could feel good about themselves also because like it was two errors, like the Gabriel one and the I feel like Kiwa was how do you
yeah.
pronounce his name? Sorry.
Kiwior or
Yeah. I
Jakub.
feel like he should have fouled or if I don't know and
Well, that was the disappointing thing. It's like, dude, like he's trying to foul, and he couldn't get
he
him, and
couldn't,
then
yeah.
he couldn't. And
And but I think Bayern executed the transition very well. I think one thing Arsenal did very good also, I give him props. They wanted everything to start with Eric Dyer. Like they made sure they annoyed the elite. Like they really pressed Newcastle to get the ball out quickly. And you see like in the first 15 minutes, like I was thinking about, I'm like, why is Eric Dyer all getting starting it? Because like you don't want to start with him, Like and it didn't really they couldn't create anything. But when they got more stable, like like Noah found the lead, I think the lead after found a fullback and then they launched Sane and then that created the second goal. I think they executed the counter very well. Like Kane and Lewandowski played the holding position very well this week. Like they really unleashed their
their
wingers.
team, yeah,
And you need very like Benzema used to do that very well. You need to be very technically good in the game to do that. And that's why Haaland was not able to do that.
yeah,
Because they were hoping Allen could have done that for them. But yeah, like that thinks Kane did a great job in that aspect of the game. But also know like they showed very good composure, like you said. Like they came back, they waited and punched at the right time. They didn't like panic. And I think that going to Munich is tough, but I feel like Arsenal, it's not the same Arsenal. I think they can give a great fight.
yeah. It's not the same Arsenal, and this Bayern team is there to be had, man. I mean, like you said, it's two mistakes that actually got them back into the game. Obviously,
Actually, possession was
the first,
57-43, Mike. I
yeah,
had that in the notes. I didn't see that.
okay. Um, so what was I gonna say? Yeah,
But it was a good goal by Saka. Like it wasn't like a great game, but it was a very good goal.
yeah, he
And I
got
feel like he
good goal by Trossard as well.
he needs to
Right.
he's always on the floor. Like I feel like he could have scored that game in that very late last action.
Yeah,
Like it
initiated
wasn't,
the contact.
yeah, bro. Like that Vinicius would have done that too. Like, bro, like keep on going. You could have scored actually.
I mean, that's the new era of football for you, man. Like, these guys over exaggerate
Dude's always on the
contact and all
floor.
that. And then he's been playing with the Averts for 7, 8 months now too. So that's another guy that always loves diving and stuff like
Mhm.
that. So yeah, man, I don't know. I think Arsenal will come out of that tie. I
Oof.
don't trust
Okay.
this Bayern Munich team
Yeah, yeah,
whatsoever.
yeah.
And like you said, I don't think that was the game plan because you could see Tuchel very frustrated on the touchline. I don't.
If that was not the game plan, then
Uh,
they did well
yeah, I don't. I
because
don't think that was the
they
game
adapted to
plan.
the counter very well. And yeah, obviously, I don't think you want to play the count. I don't think that's Tuchel game. Is it?
I
Like
don't think
not
so.
really the counter, not the transition. Like he likes to have control, if
Yeah.
I'm not mistaken. But um, well, we'll see.
Well, yeah.
I would say
But
like the for me my prediction I'll say Arsenal are not gonna go through. I think Bayern is gonna win 1-0.
okay. I'm gonna go 2-1 for Arsenal on that one as well. And shout outs to Arteta. Like, he made some good substitutions in the second half. Obviously, Gabriel Jesus really impacted the game pretty
Yeah,
well.
that was a
Uh,
good subs.
coming out after the game, talking about like he doesn't remember the last time he played football without pain and stuff like that. It's like, bro, like, get over
Yeah. But yo, shout outs to
it.
like I know like what like was like 2 months or a month ago. It
Mhm.
was so funny the way you were talking about Arteta. Now you give him a shout out. That's funny. You
I
remember?
mean, nah, yeah,
You're like, there's something
he's
about you.
something about him, man. He got a little nasty in him, man. I don't know.
Yo, you got, is is it his face expression?
I don't know, man. I know he be saying some slick stuff, man.
He looks
I
like.
know he be saying some slick stuff.
But what's your you said 2-1, yeah, 2-1 Arsenal.
Yeah,
Okay.
2-1.
All right. Let's move on to Barcelona and Paris Saint-Germain.
Mm.
That was at the Parc des Princes, and the final score was 3-2. But what a game by Rafinha. He had a very good game. I never seen him so energetic. Like he was all over. He was cutting in, create situation. He was sometimes getting close to Yamin Yamal, and he would be out. And he was playing on the left. That's not even his real position. And his crosses was very well executed. He had a very good shot in the first 15 minutes. And And even when he scored the second one from the beautiful pass by Pedri, I don't know if that's was what he wanted to do, but that little like
Yeah,
cut, yeah, that was very
yeah.
nice. Like he had a 10 out of 10 game. He deserves the man of the match. Um,
And still got subbed off.
yeah. Oh man, but
Zabi,
like
man.
Xavi's like, yeah, get out. But I feel like Paris Saint-Germain's plan was to attack
Mhm.
Barcelona. They wanted to catch them off guard. I feel like it's the same thing that Real Madrid wanted to do with City. Like with we're gonna go at them. And I feel like this is how like the shape with Asensio for him to drop as a false nine and look for these guys. Like you got speed right now. You got Mbappe on one side, and you got Dembele on the other side. So I think it didn't really work specifically well, even though they had the ball and the possession, but Barcelona was more dangerous.
You think
Um,
so?
Barcelona,
No,
Barcelona
I
had more
overall.
meaningful.
Yeah, you think PSG's game plan didn't really work out? Because I mean, obviously they lost, but
The
I was
second
looking.
half, in the
Yeah,
first 10 minutes, it was working again. He made an adjustment, took out Asensio, put Barcola on the right,
yeah,
had Dembele in the middle a little bit. Dembele would be defending on the left, then change in the middle when we're attacking. I think he got that right and capitalized with 2 goals. The team was middle fluid. Barcelona just came back, man. They did not just die.
yeah. I think. I mean, the first goal, I would say that was. I mean, I would say like that'd be more on Donnarumma.
Donnarumma
You
was
think?
so shaky in that game.
Yeah, like it seems like I would say like yeah, Barcelona won this game, but I was looking at and obviously I'm no PSG fan. I don't like what Mbappe's become. Uh like they could lose 10 times out of 10. I'll be the
You're
happiest man in the
happy.
world. Yeah,
Yeah.
like I don't really care about that team. We have to talk about them because the so-called best player in the world is playing on that team. I don't know, whatever. Like Bellingham's the best player in the world. But yeah, but I was looking at the game, man. I was like looking at there's like Barcola had a couple of really, really good chances that he
Yeah, there
just
was one chance that I don't know if it was like the overthinking for 1 second and then boom, the defender came so quick.
yeah, Araujo
And then there was a
got
good
bad.
shot that Ter Stegen kind of punched away and then hit
Yeah.
the top of the crossbar.
But
Bar, sorry.
but the first goal, like Donnarumma is really a big culprit in that. And then the
Yep.
third goal, like again, like it's just poor defending.
With Christensen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just really poor defending on the
They
corner.
almost got scored in the same kind of like way, like Donnarumma not really assuming. Like you remember when
And he's a
Lewandowski
big
had that
guy.
header and,
Yeah.
and, and Nuno Mendes was the one that saved it on the line.
Exactly.
I was like,
Exactly. He
okay,
missed.
it's
Yeah, he
yeah,
completely missed
yeah.
that punch.
It's like,
He
oh, I'm like,
complete.
okay, that's that kind of a game for Donnarumma.
Yeah, he's come and he's a big guy. He's six
Yeah,
six. Like
bro,
he's a
yeah, yeah,
6'6" goalkeeper, and like you're playing like that. Yeah, man, it was pretty poor from him.
yeah. He was very
But
poor.
But yeah, great pass from Pedri for the
Oof.
goal for Rafinha. I was
Yeah.
looking at it all the way, and I'm seeing him making the run, and I'm like, is the pass gonna is the
Gonna
pass gonna
reach it.
come? Is the
Yeah.
pass gonna come? And the pass did come, and
And
you know
then,
he
yeah.
don't know if he meant it, but the goals got scored on. But out of the game, the best thing that came out of it was the stuff that we got sent in a group chat of, Jerome Moulton and
Oh, and
and-
yeah, man,
yeah.
like he
So
doesn't like Lusanike, and that's again, that's one aspect. Also, do you think Lusanike is like doing a little bit too much,
I mean, I don't
like
know.
making
Vitinha
changes
looks like he played a good game. Like, but I've been calling for why isn't Ugarte like a guy like
on the top
Ugarte
of the defense for like
playing?
physicality
Yeah.
and stuff like that? Well, I think he wants to. I think he wants Vitinha because Vitinha is a little bit more smooth to help the defense like advance the ball, but he's very like that's not his positioning. He's better on top. But then again, I'm not gonna make a case for Ugarte. Like if it was someone else like Tchouaméni on the bench for that, I would like, wow, like But okay, whatever. Beraldo, I think Beraldo had too many games, personally. That game was not for him. Like Lewandowski, like just like he couldn't he did, like he was like he could have had a red card because like he was just like kicking shit. Like bro, and he was because the movement of Lewandowski was always going out like going with Lewandowski and then leaving all that space. That created a little bit of chaos for Hernandez and then Marquinhos. I think they swapped in the second half. Hernandez went to the right and then Marquinhos went to the middle. Maybe to assume a little bit better. But yeah, man, like a couple of players like Beraldo and Mbappe were poor. Mbappe, there's two things to talk about they're talking about him. They're like, is it because he didn't have a number nine or he was just poor and the defenders did a great job. Kunde had him in his pockets for the first 20 minutes. Then when he would go to the right side, um, the young lad Kubasi
Kobasi.
was very impressive. Not just for defending, but his passes were very. How would I say tranchant in English?
Piercing.
Yeah, like I'm like, man, he has like some needle like passes, like bro. Okay, cause I'd be breaking the lines, bro. Like breaking the shit.
Man, but that clip was so funny, man. I've never seen like, pundits like
What
were
clip?
they on air or they were recording a
Oh
podcast?
yeah, yeah, they was on there. Like
Oh
yeah, it
my
was on there because I
goodness.
was listening to it this morning. It was on
Oh
there.
my
They were
God.
at the stadium,
It
but
was
I
so
knew that was
funny.
coming because
Ils ont besoin d'un chien.
yeah, their expression is just crazy. But there's a difference when you listen to what then I'm not like a big fan, but his understanding of the game as a player is different than like I would call like an analyst or
Yeah.
a pundit who doesn't understand really changes from Luis Enrique. So I don't mind him turnovers or like switching teams and stuff like that, but yeah, man, it did not. I think the plan that he wanted did not work well because you did not really use the speed and the wherever Mbappe would end up being if he was very good. Dembele had a decent game. He scored actually like better game than Mbappe, so it did not work because you did all that to get speed from him and then put him back on the right and the left, and he was poor, so it did not work.
Who do you think was PSG's best
Kang
player?
Leo, so I don't know why Kang Lee was. I'm
Yeah,
not.
he loves that kid.
He loves him, but I know why because he's a possession guy. He's not someone that takes a lot of risk. He's like a Grealish.
Mhm.
That's why Guardiola like Grealish. I always tell you guys he wants to maintain possession in certain games. What was the question you asked? Sorry,
Who do you think was their best player in the game?
Rafinha.
No,
Oh, for
for
Paris Saint
PSG,
Germain.
yeah.
Ooh, I think you can say two guys like Nuno Mendes was good, even though he didn't see the ball often a lot. Um, I personally think Dembele was good.
Hmm.
Those two. I think those were the two good players.
Okay. I would go Vitinha myself.
Vitinha, yeah, I think he could have had a better game if he was playing a little bit higher up the
Yeah.
field. But yeah, I think Nuno Mendes was very keys in some challenges that he made.
Mm,
He's a good guy. He's a good kid. If he was not injury prone, I would say like he would have been one of the best left back in the upcoming future.
for sure.
But I don't know if he's gonna able to be keep up because like every year he's in hurt and he misses a lot of games. But what's your prediction? I say Barcelona 1-0 at the Camp Nou.
Oh man. I mean, just watching the game and the opportunities that were missed on their end and thinking about the mistakes that actually cost them. I mean, look, it's going to come down to coaching. I think it's really not on the players' abilities at this point, in my opinion. Um, I think Xavi is really figuring out what's his best team
Hmm.
at the right time. Obviously, like he's probably playing with a little bit, a little bit of house money, saying that, well,
I ain't got
I'm,
nothing to lose, baby.
I'm leaving, quote unquote.
I'm leaving. This young kid is gonna play the rest of the season. Talk about Cabrera.
He's playing with house
Yeah.
money, so um, he's chilling. But yeah, man, it's kind of tough, man. I want to say. I just want to actually go against the grain and think for one time
How he's
that
gonna
this
win.
team, this team is actually going to show up and handle business.
Okay.
So,
They can. They can. It's like I don't see Mbappe missing two straight games like this. Like I think he's gonna show up next. I think he's gonna score. I just think I say 1-0. But if he does score, it's still gonna be Barcelona 2-1. I feel like Barcelona have the imprint in that game. I feel like they're feeling good about themselves. Yamin Yamal didn't even have a good game. I think the second leg he's gonna have a better game. I don't expect Rafinha to have two straight games. Lewandowski had an excellent game. Like I said, in the whole, I think he's gonna still be able to be. I think the defense is gonna be on the lookout. Uh, they have Pedri back. Pedri's gonna have more playing time. I think he's gonna start next game. Yeah, 2-1. I would say
okay,
2-1. I think PSG is a good team. They under Luis Enrique, they haven't lost many games. It's probably like their first loss, if I'm not mistaken. So under him, so no, not sorry, not the first loss in the Champions League, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm.
Nope. I'm oops. They lost
No.
4-0 against Newcastle. Sorry. Um, in a while maybe. But yeah, so we'll see. But you
uh,
said handle business. What's the score?
I think they might go to extra time. I think it's going to be 1-0, and I think this might get taken to penalties.
And then that's where PSG will take it.
Yeah.
Last penalty kicker Beraldo
I don't,
for the
nah,
glow yums.
no.
Throwing some bullshit out there. Um, last one, Mike. Atletico Madrid Dortmund. My God, Atletico Madrid took they held Dortmund in the first 20 minutes neck. Like they were. I think they smelled blood in the first minute
I mean, you have to, like,
because
with
they're
the
like,
lineup.
guys, we have a path to go to the final. We're not gonna find that in the next like
Yeah.
solo
You
eclipse.
take a young, inexperienced team. I mean, relatively young. I mean, they got Matt Hummels, they got Sula, they got Chan, Reus, all those guys. But even Fulkrug is
He's a decent striker.
fairly older as well. But I think, like, their main guys are still like relatively young. Like you got Adeyemi, who's 22. You got what's his name? Bront. I think Bront is like 25, 26.
Yeah,
Sancho is
okay.
playing
Yeah.
is playing significant minutes for them now. So they have Ian Matson who just came in. So this team is relatively young, in my opinion. Like for the guys that's actually occupying important roles for that team, and inexperienced in this position of the Champions League. The only guys
And
that's
Mike,
been
they're
yeah,
gonna punch them.
yeah, I mean
Like when I say punch them, like they're these guys gonna leave the game with bruises because like they're not gonna Atletico Madrid's not gonna attack. They're just gonna start like punching them, bro,
yeah.
literally.
Yeah, but it looked like it was a pretty good game. I didn't get to watch it live.
It was a decent game.
San,
It was a very good
Sancho,
game.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then in the end, like, Dortmund still missed an opportunity to actually tie the game
Yeah.
and go back to Spain with a tied 2-2. Wait, was the game at
They
in
it was
Germany?
at no, it was
No.
in Spain.
Okay.
Metropolitano,
Yeah,
something like
so they could, they almost went back to Germany
that.
with
Yeah, they
a
could.
2-2 tie.
But it's just like
Uh
the first 20 minutes was so good for Atletico Madrid. They were just
yeah.
attacking. You don't see that often with like for Simeone's team, but like they've been like this for the whole season. Was it you that asked would Lino be able to play with Vinicius? You asked that?
I don't know if I said for Lino.
Lino? Okay,
Uh
it was probably not. I think it was Kuto, maybe you were saying. I
yeah,
don't
I
know.
was asking for Kuto, I know. I know that for sure. Like as a right back, but yeah, like I mean he's a really good wing back. I mean, there's really not much to say. I think, this isn't a tie that Atletico Madrid should win. Um, if we're all being honest, because
Should
again, like I
why?
said, I mean, again, like the team is just inexperienced in in that
You mean
position.
Dortmund or Atletico
Yeah,
Madrid?
Dortmund is inexperienced in that
Oh, I thought you
position.
meant Atletico Madrid should not win it.
No, they should win it. They
Okay, my
should
bad.
be
Yeah,
winning it.
yeah.
But to see the way that the game ended, obviously, I think, with the amount of domination that they had in the game, these guys grew tired. Griezmann was tired at the end of the game. They did end up having a really good opportunity at the dying embers of the game where what's the Riquelme? Riquelme had a shot on target. Um, could have led to something more, probably, but I mean, Kobol and Matson were very they actually freebied the first goal to Rodrigo de Paul.
Yeah,
That was just a freebie.
like I didn't understand that. Like, bro, there was no reason for him to. There was no pressure. Like, bro, take care of business quicker. Then the pressure came. Like he had so many times to make a decision, and then
Yeah, and if you feel the defenders on your back, just quickly pass the ball back to Kobo so he could toss it to wherever,
yeah,
like
like that
just
was a stupid way to
throw
get
it
a
out of
goal.
bounds.
And then since
But
then they smelled blood.
yeah, and then the second goal again was another mistake, but I mean Griezmann just showed his brilliance
Yep.
in actually feeding the ball to Lino, but it was another mistake. Uh, I think between Sula and somebody else. I think it was probably Hummels. They probably bottled the you know miscommunication,
Yeah,
and then it was 2-0. And Hummels had
yeah. It
another
could have been
mistake.
three.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he had another mistake, but he ended up recovering before the shot was put on target with great force. But
Champions League night. You could be out in a Champions League in minutes.
but I
You
mean,
could be 3-0.
it's been Dortmund's MO. I think at the beginning of the season, well, not even beginning of the season. Last year, before the World Cup, we were talking about how these guys are just horrendous, man. Like defensively, like Nico Schlotterbeck, Süle, Hummels. I know Hummels is highly revered in Germany and stuff like that. Like he is a good defender, but these guys,
Past his prime time.
these three together, man. Like sometimes it looks like Ed, and Eddie in the back line,
Yeah,
man.
and Eddie.
Yeah, it looks like Dumb and Dumber. Like it's just like it's really bad
It's
sometimes,
incredible.
man.
Yeah.
It's really bad sometimes between those guys. So we got Diego Simeone and Atletico Madrid. They're veterans. They're used to this being in this position. They made the semifinals countless times in the Champions League before.
They're not letting no
Yeah.
space. They're not gonna let. Yeah, it's done. Like it's done.
Yeah.
No,
I w-
I'm kidding. Like it's 2-1. It's not bad. So, it's not a bad score. Like it's plenty of time. 90 minutes to find a net
we
twice
shall see,
if
but
possible. I think
knowing
Atletico
that
is gonna go in. My
I think
prediction
I think so too. 2-0.
0-0.
I think 2-0.
Since 2-0. All right,
Yeah, because
0-0.
the thing is that they're gonna have to look for this is a position
Two
where
new Dortmund.
No, no,
Atletico
no.
Madrid.
2-0, 2-0 Atletico
Oh, I
Madrid.
was
Yeah.
getting wait. Okay,
This is the position that they thrive in. They're just gonna go to Germany and sit in the block
yeah,
and let these guys attack, and then the
and then they
counter-attacking.
counterattack with Lino
Yeah.
and or Llorente on the other side.
Yeah. I wouldn't even be yeah, Marcos Llorente. I wouldn't even be surprised if Correa started in that game, but I don't think he will.
Nah, probably
Or
will
maybe
lose.
Rodrigo Riquelme, probably.
Maybe, maybe.
Yeah,
It
we'll
depends of
see.
how he wants to approach the game. I know he's gonna like you said, he's gonna be a little block, but we'll see. Well, that was it. Am I missing a game?
Nah. Atalanta beating Liverpool 3-0 at their
Yeah,
own house.
yeah. That was kind of like like an moment. But we'll be back next week. I think next week there's gonna be more talks because like Champions League
Play
plus
in.
playing
Play
tournament.
in.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough. It's good. It's getting to that time. Like April's always energetic. So many
Yep.
games. So if this was episode 77, Champions League talk quarterfinals. Any last words, Mike?
No. I was
I
getting ready to flame J. Cole
J.
again,
Cole. I
man.
know you. I was gonna say. I'm like, yeah, he's gonna say something about J. Cole, but he's like, yeah,
I'm done. I'm done.
might apologize to you if you
I'm done.
throw him in.
J.
But
Cole don't care. He don't care about us.
nah, yeah, he doesn't. The normies. But yeah, episode 77 available on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube. Thank you very much. Like, subscribe, and peace.
Peace.